Manus is the newest Chinese AI tool. It happens only around a month after DeepSeek was launched, which is an extremely advanced large language model. Manus is, I would say, in a completely different league because it's not really like it's not an LLM. It's basically a whole agentic AI tool. So it relies on a multitude of different LLMs and tools to basically accomplish tasks or objectives. While we, of course, have covered already on this channel agentic development tools like Replit and Lovable and Bold and so on, while these are definitely agentic, they are still sort of very task-based. So it's still like create this website or do this or that, while Manus is actually way more independent and can actually just sort of go on its own and figure out like a whole project scope and get back with an actual finished product that you don't need this whole constant back and forth, like keep prompting the AI. You give one main instruction or one primary outcome that you are seeking, and then Manus will go do the research and the development and use various tools to connect the dots and then finally deliver an actual output or an actual end product like you would consider an employee basically delivering. So it's really fascinating, and it's really cool that we're actually getting to this stage of AI already. And while we obviously at House Collective applied for beta access to Manus, we sadly haven't received it yet because, of course, the demand is extremely big right now. I hope we'll receive it soon, but in this video, I will basically show some examples from around the internet of how people actually utilize Manus to accomplish different objectives. But I promise as soon as we receive our own beta access, we'll, of course, do multiple videos on Manus and a lot of demos specifically on how Manus can be utilized in the digital design space for both UX, UI design and development and so on. So we're really looking forward to being able to test it and share it with all of you. Okay, so the first example I'll be showing is someone on the internet who instructed Manus to create a dynamic dashboard for real-time IBIT ETF analysis. And IBIT is, of course, BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF, one of the Bitcoin ETFs that were approved last year and has since seen tremendous growth. It's like the biggest ETF launch in history, actually. So, so not financial advice, but maybe consider getting some Bitcoin. Especially now with worldwide reserves and everything that's going on. So in this case, the user asked Manus to create a dynamic dashboard that provides up-to-date ETF price information, track price variations over different timeframes, and assess risk factors based on crypto market trends. Key features: it should have live ETF preview price tracking, fetch and display the current price of IBIT ETF along with historical price trends such as daily, weekly, and monthly. User adjustable parameters allow customization of risk tolerance, timeframes, and other financial metrics to tailor recommendations. And for technical requirements, should use real-time financial APIs to fetch stock data, should implement visual components like charts and risk assessment indicators, provide a concise and actionable summary for investment decisions. So this is a rather, I would say, complex brief with lots of factors that the AI needs to keep track of and remember. And of course, in the end, it should also launch the website and make sure everything is running. So let's try to replay this and see how it actually went. So we press replay. And so I don't actually know if this is real time. I would assume it's probably sped up a bit, or maybe substantially, I don't know. But in any case, I mean, I'm not really concerned about the time because it can work 24 hours a day. So it can always work while you sleep. And you see a lot is going on. So it's let's try to scroll up and see. It's first of all doing all the analysis necessary. It connects the different data sources. So then giving a status that is completed the initial setup, connected to Yahoo Finance. Okay, and in the end, it simply says, great news that it successfully deployed the IBIT ETF dashboard as a website. I think if I remember, yeah, so the user did notice a few bugs, like there was some error when they clicked on the tabs other than dashboard, it went to 404 and so on, but Manus got on that task and did some debugging, and let's see if there are more. Yeah, no, I think that was it. So it says basically, great news. I've successfully fixed the navigation issues and deployed the updated IBDTF dashboard. You can now access all sections of the dashboard without encountering 404 errors. So it's deployed it to this URL, and we can actually try to open it and see. And this is the end result. So we have actually like a complete legit dashboard of the IBIT ETF. Of course, this is the IBIT ETF. So this is the price of the ETF, not Bitcoin, of course. And we can adjust different things like risk parameters. We can put time frame. Let's see if it updates. It seems like it yearly. Yeah. Show technical indicators. Yeah. We can refresh data. It gets it from the Yahoo endpoint. There's light mode as well. I don't think it implemented these parts like user access and notifications, but I think that's probably just a default, some default UI it chose to put. Let's see, price analysis. I won't go into detail. Okay, so we did get a client-side error here. Let's try to refresh. It seems to be working. Not sure. We have risk assessment with visualizations. There are some settings we can put, even define the auto refresh interval. There's even some about wiki page where it actually explains what the ETF tracks and so on. This is a pretty legit dashboard, and it's essentially been developed in no time. And of course, you can still go back and tweak it. But it's essentially a complete product that's launched by like 1 or 2, 3-ish prompts, if we count in sort of the debugging in the end. So I would say this is pretty impressive. One of the really cool things about Manus is that it can break down complex tasks and goals into very small executable steps. And then for each of these steps, it can actually decide which tool is the most appropriate to use. So if it's research, it might use a web browser to browse the web, or it can use various apps. If it's a coding, if it needs to, based on its research, develop something, it can use various coding environments to set up actual projects within coding environments. So essentially, Manus can leverage whatever software it thinks it needs to get the job done. I don't think all of those sort of more graphical aspects are that advanced at this point, but I'm sure it's something that's in the pipeline, that essentially at some point Manus would probably be able to utilize all the tools that we as humans already operate on our computer, whether it's something like Figma or Premiere Pro for video editing, or whatever sort of tool we use in our day-to-day life. I'm sure Manus will eventually be able to sort of operate them in a similar way, of course, just much faster. So I think this is really exciting that what we're seeing now is still like a beta, like an early version, but imagine when basically all the tools we use in day-to-day life become a part of the Manus vocabulary, like how powerful it's gonna become. And from a user perspective, I think it's really exciting that basically if we see Manus as one front end for whatever person needs something accomplished, whether that's already a developer or a graphical designer, UX, UI designer, or someone like in a completely different industry, just one sort of user-friendly front end. But behind the scenes, Manus stitched together all these different tools. So it essentially means that workflows that would otherwise in the past have involved maybe using 3 or 4 different tools, like imagine you build a website, you first have to use Figma, then you have to do some coding, then you like need to sort of deploy it to a server and so on. Like you use various tools along the way, but imagine with Manus, you have one front end essentially, and then Manus takes care of stitching it all together. So it's like basically one workflow for the end human user to accomplish something very sophisticated, something very advanced. And I think the perspectives in that are really tremendous. So the next example is quite interesting, I think, and it was an example I found by digging a bit on Google and searching for like shared projects on Manus. So this creator prompted Manus to build an autonomous SaaS micro app. So the instructions were that to Manus that you're an autonomous AI entrepreneur tasked with creating a fully functional and monetizable SaaS, software as a service, micro app from scratch. Your goal is to build an innovative solution that can be resold to both consumers and businesses. Follow these steps carefully and provide detailed output for each phase. So first of all, market research and ideation. Analyze current market trends, customer pain points, and emerging opportunities in this software as a service domain. Identify a profitable niche and propose a unique micro app idea that addresses a clear need. Your objective is to provide a complete end-to-end solution that can be immediately deployed and scaled for revenue generation. So I think this is really interesting because it basically covers all sort of aspects of the bit, like the functioning business itself. Even the end where all the deliverables are described, I think it's really interesting because then it's not just about delivering a website, it's about delivering the full package, delivering both like a marketing website and the actual app, developing brand assets, documentation, backend, all the connections to payment gateways and so on. So it's basically an entire sort of business that the Manus agent is tasked with sort of crafting. So I think I'm really curious to see how it actually does. It does in sort of in this specific case. So let's try to run it and just see how it goes. Okay, so of course it's very fast. I think it's doing some research on software as a service customer pain points 2025. It's crafting a report now. It's in Markdown format. I mean, it's even too fast for me to follow along. I'm not sure if it's a representative speed. Okay, so now it's continuing to build a response AI micro app. Okay, so let's see what it actually. Let's see what the concept actually is. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so here we actually have it. I'm pleased to present the complete Respond AI SaaS micro app solution, which I've developed from concept to implementation. This AI-enhanced email response assistant for customer support teams is now ready for deployment and monetization. Respond AI helps customer support teams respond to inquiries more efficiently by leveraging AI to generate contextually appropriate responses. The application reduces response times, improves consistency, and allows support teams to handle higher volumes of customer communication without sacrificing quality. Key deliverables: marketing website, professionally designed landing page, it's already deployed, features overview, pricing plans, and so on, modern responsive design. Functional application, complete next application with Cloudflare, workers backend, comprehensive database schema for users, email responses, and more. Core features implemented: email inbox and management, AI response generation, knowledge-based integration, analytics dashboard, settings management, subscription and payment handling, business documentation, market research and analysis, competitive landscape assessment, business model, go-to-market strategy, financial projections, risk assessment and mitigation strategies, technical documentation, system architecture, database scheme, API endpoint, security considerations, performance optimizations, deployment instructions, monetization strategies, subscription plans, where it has free trial, basic plan, professional plan, enterprise plan, token-based usage, pay-as-you-go for customers with variable usage need, $10 for 100 tokens, 25 for 250, 50 for 500 tokens, option for users to bring their own API keys. So market potential: the global customer experience management market is valued at 10 billion, so it does all the research. Next step: deployment, beta testing, marketing, launch, continuous improvement. Okay, so here it actually has the repository. So all deliverables are organized in the following structure. So it actually gathers a whole repository of deliverables, which is quite exciting. It has the actual app, it has the marketing website, it has the market research, it has business plan, technical documentation, and overall documentation. So it actually gathers it all in folders. You can see if we can see the business report. We can preview it here. So this is the business report. And then there is link to the app, I think. The technical documentation, let's see. Yeah, looks pretty good. Okay, so this should be so this is the marketing page, which looks, I mean, of course, quite generic, but also professional. It's like a one-page site with the different plans and so on. Okay. And let's see what else we have. Okay, so actually this was an earlier version, and the user had some more communication with the AI along the way. So let's maybe go to the bottom and see what's the final outcome. Go to market guides. Let's view all the files. So we have the links. We have the I think the marketing side. Let's see. Okay, so it's actually improved also. There was some UI bugs before, but it seems to be better, this version. Also a bit less generic. Let's see the like the actual product demo. We still can't actually do anything, but again, I'm sure it works under the hood. So again, of course, it's still not perfect, but I think it's super impressive that with these, like, of course it's a longer prompt, it's very specific instructions, but you can actually you can ask it to take on all aspects of sort of product creation, and both be a designer, be a programmer, be a business strategist, be a brand designer, like everything you can imagine, you can ask Manus to take on, and it will just autonomously go and work on it on its own. So I think it's really fascinating, and again, this is gonna become more and more powerful as the underlying models become better, and as sort of more tools can work together. Like right now, I can utilize terminal and browser, coding environments, different tools. But again, like the more tools that can actually sort of collaborate on a task, the more sophisticated the output will also be. But I think it's really impressive that the deliverable is not just one thing, but it's actually just a folder filled with different sort of key deliverables for different completely different aspects of a project. And finally, let's take a look at one of the sort of showcased prompts from their use case gallery. So also just to show you that you can always go to manus.im, of course, also sign up if you would like access as soon as they have capacity, but also just to see sort of what are people using it for. So let's see if there's something interesting. Productivity. What the fuck? Let's see. Education, maybe. So interactive course on the momentum theorem. So Manus develops engaging video presentations for middle school educators. Okay. I mean, let's try to see in this one. So let's first of all see what the prompt was. Okay, so the prompt was, I'm a middle school physics teacher preparing to teach the law of conservation of momentum. Could you create a series of clear and accurate demonstration animations and organize them into a simple presentation HTML? Okay, so this is a pretty like real world use case. Probably it is a real world use case. Like you probably did have to teach this. So let's see how it goes. I will refill that. Okay, so this is actually quite interesting because it's like a real use case. Like it's an actual teacher that needs this in his teaching. And as you can see, Manus is already started. It's doing some research on websites, even going on YouTube to watch some videos apparently. And now it's already on top of sort of creating a website that the teacher can utilize in his class. So okay. Okay, so it actually seems like it's already done, and it says Great news, successfully deployed. The deployment includes all 5 interactive animations: basic collision demonstration, elastic collisions, inelastic collisions, explosions, real-world applications. So let's just try to open the project and see. I guess we can hit play. Okay. I mean, I don't know the math behind, but it seems pretty legit. We can adjust the parameters. We can change to elastic, and let's see how that looks. Yeah. Inelastic collisions, let's see how that looks. I mean, that does seem inelastic. This one, let's see. Okay. Again, we can adjust. Real world examples. Billiard. Wow, this is pretty impressive. So it actually, let's see. So it actually like illustrated a billiard table, and let's see how objects interact. Rocket propulsion. Let's try to, yeah. Ice skaters. Wow. So again, this is really cool because this is an actual like pain point that some teacher had and was like, okay, let's try to ask Manus if we can have a creative solution, probably for my class next day or something. So I just think this shows the potential and how cool this is, and how much how empowering it is for anyone, essentially, whether you're a creator already. Even you don't even need to be a coder. You can be like, just think of a problem you have, explain it, articulate the problem, and then you have an end product that would otherwise have taken weeks to develop for even for most programmers. At House Collective, we are all about providing creators, developers, creative individuals with all the tools and knowledge needed to utilize the newest trends within AI. And Manus is, of course, no exception. As soon as we get access, we will get back with way more demos and tutorials for you. In the meantime, please remember to like the video and also to subscribe to our channel. That will help us a lot. And stay tuned for more videos also about other tools. We wanna, like, a lot of stuff happens right now, so we're trying to stay on top of everything that's released at the moment. So stay tuned. See you soon. Bye bye.